A quick disclaimer before we begin. I was one of the playtesters for Baobab's Cozy Laundromat, so I received a full copy of the game for free. I have done my best to keep the review unbiased, so if this video comes off as me being overly positive about the game, it's probably just because I genuinely enjoyed my experience with it. Let's begin. Baobab's Cozy Laundromat is the latest game from solo developer Destroyer Doggo, and it is an idler game, which is something that you leave running on the side while you do other work, such as writing a review for Baobab's Cozy Laundromat. There is a rapidly growing player base around idler games these days, thanks to the indie hit Rusty's Retirement, which came out in April 2024. Since then, quite a few developers have tried to bring their own spin to this subgenre of games that sit on your desktop and let you do other things in the background while still making progress in the game due to automated gameplay. If you're not going to watch the entire video, here's a summary. Baobab's Cozy Laundromat is a charming introduction to the idler game subgenre, featuring a visually pleasing pixel art style and soothing lo-fi music tracks. This is a game that invites you to leave it open on your desktop while you work. The game controls being limited to a menu instead of being tied to the items can feel a bit odd and make the gameplay slower, and the inclusion of limited time events introduces a sense of FOMO in an otherwise relaxing game. But these things are not a deal breaker, and you can completely ignore the limited time events to avoid FOMO anyway. If you have never played an idler game, then this one is a great place to start. Now on with the full review. This game doesn't really feature a story, so let me dive straight into the gameplay with a brief introduction to the concept. Baobab's Cozy Laundromat's interpretation of the idler game formula involves pandas. Baobab is a hardworking panda who has just opened her laundromat business and needs your help in deciding how to plan her day-to-day operations. You start off the game with a brief tutorial, which takes just a few seconds to complete, and then you are given free rein to do whatever you want with the laundromat. With your first few coins, you are able to buy a couple of washing machines and dryers, and after that, the revenue will start coming in automatically. The money you earn per wash cycle depends on the kind of machine you use. There are two categories of washing machines and two categories of dryers to choose from. At the beginning, you only have a few styles to pick, and you will unlock more styles as you place more items in the laundromat. The same goes for decorative items, which do not give you any revenue outright but offer different options to decorate your laundromat. The only exception is the ironing or pressing table, which is placed among the decorations but is actually a third source of revenue after washers and dryers. Each pressing table comes with its own dedicated panda who will either work or sleep until it gets some work. Once you finish your initial setup, you will likely run out of money, so just leave the game open and go do something else. After a while, the money will start to trickle in, allowing you to further invest in the business. Once you have enough money, you can unlock more space in the laundromat and hire more pandas to help speed up the earning process. Each panda that you hire will increase the price of the next panda, so there is a cap on how fast you can expand. Since your pandas work hard for you, there is an option to reward them by placing seating options for them to sit down and take a break, and you can also place various vending machines for them to have a snack whenever they please. Note that I said it is an option to place these items, so you can really question your ethics by choosing between placing items that would let your panda workers take a break or forcing them to work around the clock so that you earn coins faster. You will not be judged by anyone except by your own conscience. And that's pretty much the entire gameplay loop. Buy machines, hire pandas, watch the money come in, and then buy some more stuff. And there are also cats that you can bring in for 2000 coins each, but don't expect them to do anything useful apart from comforting you with their presence, just like real cats. Once you have unlocked everything, the gameplay boils down to how often you want to redecorate your laundromat. You can move around items if you want, or delete them altogether to get back half their price. While my playthrough was enjoyable for the most part, I did find a couple of things to grumble about. My main issue with the game is that it heavily depends on its menu. This feels a bit impersonal and takes away some of the charm of the game. It would probably be more useful to have the items be more interactive, such as being able to move or delete items by clicking on them. The other issue I wasn't too happy about was the inclusion of limited time events. These are great for driving user interaction. I actually saw this happen in real time in the game's dedicated Discord server, where several players of the game's demo got excited about a limited time Golden Panda event that would only run for 3 days leading up to the game's launch. While this is good for dedicated players, predictably there were a few people who discovered the game a bit late and they were worried about not having time to earn enough coins to buy the Golden Panda, which is a revolving golden statue of a panda. I guess it comes down to personal choice, and practically there is no real harm done with the inclusion of limited time events in the game. You can choose not to participate, and your enjoyment of the game will not be diminished. That said, I did end up getting my own Golden Panda since I was playtesting the game pretty frequently anyway. That was it for the gameplay section. If you go in expecting to play this game for a few hours at a stretch and call it a day, you would probably be disappointed. This game and idler games in general are designed to be like drip feeds. They will slowly accumulate resources so that you can keep progressing a little bit every day. Maybe you leave your computer on the entire day and you'll get to see more progress. Or maybe you run the game only during work hours and you'll see slower progress. Either way, this is a subgenre that will reward your patience if you step away for a bit and come back later. Like I said before, idler games are coming up rapidly these days. So each game needs a unique selling point to differentiate it from the others. The obvious hook for this particular game is the art style. I've been hopping in and out of the developer's Discord server for the past few months, and every few days I see someone coming in praising the game's visuals or mentioning that they had a look only because the game featured cute pandas. The healthy pandas, with their sincere attempts at running across the laundromat, are definitely a pleasing sight, especially if you leave the game open and look at it occasionally while you're working on something boring. Another benefit of leaving the game open is the soothing lo-fi soundtrack that the game plays for you, along with some rain effects added in. Fans of the popular Lo-Fi Beats YouTube channel will love these original tracks, and you can support the developer further by purchasing the soundtrack on Steam. If you zoom in close, you can even listen to the machine's humming, which has its own kind of charm, sort of like a white noise machine. The sounds and music tracks have their own toggles, so you can choose what you want to listen to while you work. I'm mentioning this in its own section because the game that inspired this subgenre, Rusty's Retirement, famously came into the spotlight due to its dock mode. You could not play that game in full screen at launch, and it sat at the bottom of your screen. Well, that has sort of become the staple for this genre, but you may have noticed that for most of the review, I have only been using the full screen mode for Baobab's Cozy Laundromat. That's because personally I am not a huge fan of the dock mode, but yes, in case you were curious, this game does have a fully functional dock mode that makes the whole pandas running across your screen effect seem even more adorable. You can switch between the dock mode and the full screen mode at any time, and it's nice to have this choice from day one. Also included in the game is Twitch integration. If you're a Twitch streamer, you can connect your channel to the game and then let your audience become part of your laundromat. The audience members' names will appear over the pandas, and they can issue commands to control any cats present in your laundromat and even trigger an Easter egg. I haven't tried this personally, but it's a nice feature that has already been appreciated by a few streamers who have tried it. That was it for the review. If you haven't tried an idler game before, Baobao's Cozy Laundromat is definitely a good title to pick up as an introduction to the subgenre. It has a cozy gameplay loop, a pocket-friendly price, and the pandas are sure to keep you good company for a long time. The link to the store page can be found in the description. Thanks for watching.